So, welcome to Wednesday meditation. It is a June gloom day at the beach. June gloom is here, and it's cold and dark and kind of like Monterey weather.
It's incredibly sunny and hot here, Arpad. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable. So, today's topic, what we're going to talk about is co-creation, co-creating with nature and spirit. You know, we often talk about that our thoughts manifest our lives, our experiences create our reality, but there's also the reality that we're co-creators with God. We're co-creators with nature, and nature is one of the most magical, special, beautiful things in the world. You know, in our backyard, Peg is really into creating a butterfly garden, and we are in seventh heaven because we have these monarchs coming every day, laying eggs, laying cocoons, laying chrysalis, and I started documenting it. It is unbelievable what they do and how they do it. And there's this miracle of a butterfly from this kind of beautiful, unattractive, gorgeous looking caterpillar. They start out about a 16th of an inch, and by the time they're done, they're 2 inches long and fat, and then they decide to hang upside down and go through the process. It is unbelievable. So, what I'm going to do is I found a fabulous video with Wayne Dyer and Esther Hicks. Does everybody know who those two people are? No? Ann says no. Wayne Dyer is a metaphysical author who has written countless books, and he has since passed away. Very successful writer and author. And Esther Hicks is a medium that channels the energy of Abraham, and I would say for the modern day, she wrote The Law of Attraction based on channeled information. Okay? So this is a conversation between these two, and they talk about co-creation and how to do it. And I found it really fascinating, very clear, very enlightening. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to optimize sharing, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to share that, and we're going to go there, and here we go. Ready? Go.
I wrote a book years ago called Inspiration, using the two words inspire, inspirado, inspire, in spirit. There was a great teacher on this planet a couple of thousand years ago named Patanjali, and he said, when you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, that all of your thoughts break their bonds, your mind transcends limitations, your consciousness expands in every direction, and you find yourself in a new and a great and a wonderful world.
Perfect.
And then he said, and this is what I want to ask you about, he said, dormant forces, when you're inspired, dormant forces, faculties and talents come alive, and you discover yourself to be a greater person by far than you've ever dreamt yourself to be. It's almost as if you discover yourself to be God or Source or the Tao or Divine Mind or whatever name we place on this source energy that you speak of and speak to us from.
The way we've been defining that most recently is that when you wake up in the morning, you have the potential of being in that highest frequency, because while you slumber, your point of attraction, the momentum of your point of attraction stops. So when you first wake up, before you begin thinking thoughts of what went wrong yesterday or what you have to do today, you're in your greatest potential of that pure positive energy. So if you can focus there and allow a little momentum to get going, what happens is it isn't something that just happens, it's something that you focus yourself into being. But when you focus yourself into that, you tune in, is the best way of describing it. You tune in to that source energy consciousness who has always been aware of everything you're doing, but there's a big difference when you tune into it and you consciously are aware of it. In other words, source is there for everyone all the time. We don't need to talk you into that. We're always there. But when you know it, when you're not doing that thing you do that is preventing you from knowing that, that's when you have those wonderful moments. And you can do that all the time.
In the middle of the
And they call that the master, but all of you do it. It's just the mastery of focus is what it is.
I wake up every night around 3 o'clock in the morning. And there was a great poet, his name was Rumi, many, many years ago. He said, the morning breeze has secrets to tell you. Do not go back to sleep. Do not go back to sleep. Do not go back to sleep. And many of the books that I've written when I've been awakened, and there's something, what is it? What is it that awakens me? It's like almost, I can almost tell you the exact time. It's like, because in a film I did years ago called The Shift, they show a clock, it's 3:13 a.m., almost to the second. Every single night there's something. Is that angels? Is that divine source? Is that someone saying this is your purpose, this is the time, there's no distractions?
The thing we most want to say is that we're with you saying that all the time. So what's interesting to us is that that's the time that you decide to listen.
Right. But there's nobody else around to distract me.
And that's the important conversation to have. So what is it about that time? What is it that's happening there that makes you more resonant, that makes you more receptive? And it is that the momentum of your thought has stopped. So there is no contradictory vibration going on within you. So you're more likely to hear. Esther has been saying to herself, when she awakens like that, she will say, am I awake? Because if I'm awake, I am going to get up. And so it's conscious awareness of that high frequency vibration. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. But I find for me, and for me, the most creative moments are that middle of the night time when...
Well, think about what that is. When you think a thought for as little as 17 seconds, law of attraction will bring another thought like it to it. So momentum begins.
What do you mean? Law of attraction will bring, what is law of attraction?
Let's say that you wake up in the morning and rather than finding that clear space that is potentially there for you to find, instead, as soon as you wake up, you remember the trouble that you had yesterday. And you think about being at work, and you think about the dilemma, and you think about the discomfort, and you think about the discord. And as you focus for as little as 17 seconds, more thoughts like that will join it. So another 17 seconds, more momentum still. Another 17 seconds, more momentum still, until you cross something as short as the 68-second mark. You have lost your window of alignment with source. Doesn't mean, Esther said to us the other day, because we said, well, you can always begin again tomorrow. You can always begin again tomorrow. And Esther said, I refuse to accept that I have to wait all the way until tomorrow to get back on my high-flying disc. I can do it. I know I can do it by focusing. It's just so much easier. So we like to talk about law of attraction because it is the vibrational engine that manages everything. And we can't talk about law of attraction without talking about momentum, because there is a momentum in thought. And if you think a thought long enough, it becomes a strong habit of thought. It's what you call beliefs. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. So sometimes you have beliefs that do not serve you. But when you first awaken, those beliefs are quiet enough that you can find a fresh one that comes from source, that is about who you really are and what you really know.
Is the reverse of that if you awaken and you have a very positive thought? That is, I'm going to heal myself.
Well, that's a wonderful thing. Once you get that momentum going.
But would like the 17-second rule apply to that as well?
It applies to everything. And the rule of thumb is when you acknowledge that law of attraction is, whether you like it or not, and you acknowledge that it is responding to the vibration that you are offering right now, and therefore momentum will get going. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, if the thought felt good, we'd think it. We'd think more about it. We'd talk about it. We'd write it down. We would discuss it with others. We would deliberately encourage that momentum. But if it's an easy thought, if it feels uncomfortable, then we would do our best to generalize it. The more specific you become in a thought, the more momentum. The more general you become in a thought, the slower the momentum. Esther remembers San Francisco driving to the top of one of those, what she called ridiculous hills. She couldn't believe that people were actually driving on those hills. And so we said, well, imagine perching your car at the top of one of those hills, take it out of gear, take the brake off, and just for fun, just to see what happens, nudge it a little bit from behind. Well, you know what will happen, and if you come to your senses, you'll step out in front of it and let it bump up against you, and you will stop that unwanted momentum. But you would not want to be at the base of that hill stopping that unwanted momentum. So your thoughts are the same way. When you get the hang of this, when you begin to realize that every thought is vibration and that law of attraction is responding to every thought, and the thought is going to increase, the only question is it one you want to increase? Because it's going to increase. Law of attraction insists that it does.
Can you have a thought, like I talk a lot about the I am discourses. I am as the name of source, another name for source. If you are feeling weak, but you have a thought saying, I am strong, I mean, that's one of the lines from the book of Joel, let the weak man say, I am strong. If you continuously say, I am strong, or I am well, or I am healed, or I am wealthy, or I am positive, or I'm
It makes
loving.
sense. It makes sense, but there is a effort factor, a backfiring factor that sometimes every subject is really two subjects, wanted and absence of it. So if you are feeling not strong and you say, I am strong, which end of the stick are you activating? And what we've noticed is the more effort you are applying, usually you're trying to overcome what you've really got going on vibrationally with words. And instead of it working the way you want it to, it works in reverse, because when you're trying really hard, it's an indicator that you're trying to use your words and your actions and your affirmations to compensate for vibration that you didn't get started off on the right foot. We think affirmations are wonderful, but we would make sure that we are feeling really good when we affirm, because the universe doesn't hear what you say, the universe hears what you mean.
It also responds to how you feel, doesn't it?
Well, that's right. That's how you know what you mean. So if you're feeling weak and you're proclaiming that you're strong, the universe is just, and the louder you're saying it, the more the universe is hearing you demanding something that you do not feel. It's trying too hard. For a while we were offering an analogy that we see you, it's like you go down to the river's edge with your canoe and you put it in the water and you point it upstream and you paddle really hard, because it feels like to get something done there should be some struggle involved. But law of attraction is responding. Law of attraction is the path of least resistance. And if you can accept that you are source energy and that there is a trajectory of ease and least resistance, and you can feel when you're on that trajectory and you can feel when you get off of it. And sometimes the more you proclaim that you're on it, the more you're really off of it just trying to get on it. And it's better just to take a nap.
Well, there's a lot to be said for that video. And I think we could have a whole conversation all by ourselves just on that topic. But what they're talking about is this life source, this energy source, which we're calling God, I'm calling God, but you can call it whatever you want. whatever name you find that you resonate with a higher power, whatever that consciousness is, God, Spirit, Mother Earth, Father God, energy, whatever it is what we're talking about. And creating our reality, creating our experience, we're responsible for that. You know, people that are victims seem to have a victim consciousness, which seem to bring more things, unpleasant things to them in their lives. People that have a different approach, that the life is half full, will have more full experiences. So this morning's meditation is about co-creating with nature and co-creating for yourself and your own personal garden of happiness. So we are about to begin. And Arpad, there's another button for you. Okay. Well, is that the one I wanted? Huh. Yes, it is. All right. So, if you would just take a deep breath and begin to exhale. Begin to relax and feel more comfortable. Just take another deep breath. And exhale and feel the life force around you swirling about your head. Feeling more and more relaxed. Take another deep breath and just feel the energy swirling around your waist, your solar plexus, feeling more and more relaxed, trusting that all is good, all is sacred, all is holy. Feeling more and more relaxed. Take another deep breath and exhale. Feeling the energy flowing down through your feet, releasing all tension in your feet. Feeling more relaxed, more comfortable. Feeling more loving, trusting that all is sacred, that you are safe, that you are alive. To co-create with nature, we must experience a foundation of respect, a respect that God is in all things, a respect that nature is sacred. As we begin to imagine nature, we begin to see clear blue skies. We begin to imagine fresh air. begin to see rivers and streams with clear blue water, nurturing water. Oceans filled with abundant sea life. Animals and mammals and fish, all in harmony with man. We only take what we need. Imagine yourself being like a Native American Indian who has respect for all things. Imagine asking for permission to eat or to take the life of another animal or a plant, knowing that there is life force and energy there. Imagine a world where you choose to eat less meat or none at all. Imagine a world where everyone is fed. Imagine a world filled with love. Imagine you releasing all your struggle and all your pain to a higher consciousness, a higher power. Imagine a world that you have created that makes you feel good, that gives you joy, that makes you proud. Of your creation. Now imagine that you have taken a tiny little seed and you have planted it. Planted it in your world of nature, in your imagination. This is your seed that you are to nurture and grow, to manifest into the gift of who you are. Imagine your gift out in the world. Take your dream, take your seed, and nurture it in your heart as we return back to the space that we are in. Say thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, nature. And gently return to your space, more awake, more alert. 5, feeling more comfortable. 3, feeling energized, alive, and alert. 2 and 1. All right. I think we have 5 minutes left for sharing. Anybody want to share anything? I think I could have used another 30 minutes on that. What do you think? So I may be forced to upgrade to a paid subscription. So if we get kicked out, I'll see you. Maybe I'll see you next week. And anybody have anything they want to share from either the video or um, their co-created world in nature? Joanne?
I
No?
used I used to go to the Hay House presentations in Pasadena every year, and Wayne Dyer usually was the keynote speaker. Um, when Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer and Abraham Esther was most of the time was there. So I've seen them. I love it. You reminded me to go back to YouTube and listen to some of that, Arpad. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there's a lot of material out there on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I've heard the one that, go with no resistance, flow down, the easy flow, don't paddle upriver, but go with the flow.
So what you resist persists is the bottom line.
Exactly.
So if
Exactly.
you're if you learn to trust your intuition